fly with the light. Cheekbone straight, that keeps our path tight. Mama's wisdom, roots in the land. We bought or we built with sheepdog's hand. We are the raw room, family and tribe. We speak, we heal, we manifest the vibe. Heaven on earth, we craft and we trade. Truth is our rhythm, love is our blade. Come with your gifts, your voice, your spark. We shine together, we light the dark. This is our temple, our sacred boom. Welcome, beloved, to the roar room. We roll, we light the dark. Roar room is now live. Welcome to the roar.
We are coming into the war room hot and heavy tonight. It is September 24, 2025, and we thank you for all joining us throughout this journey and throughout the psychological operations that we seem to be going through every day, bombarded with lies, so to speak, propaganda. That's what we'll call it. This propaganda. People jumping to conclusions, no investigations being completed, and I thought we learned from this a long time ago that that's how they manipulate you. That the first 24 hours is bullshit. You gotta wait 3 days at least, and then all the smoke clears, and then you start seeing clearly. I can see clearly now. The smoke is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Doot, doot, doot. They can't write names on bullets and full sheepdog. The bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Hey, that was the Brady Bunch too. Bright sunshiny day.
That was acapella. That was freestyle right there for you, real quick. I told you we're coming in hot and heavy. My mama told me. She said, "Son, when you opened the show the other night, you hesitated." I said, "Hesitated?" Yeah. She said, "Yeah, don't open the show and just walk out there like you don't know what the heck, like you're just stumbling." She said, I'm no podcaster or nothing. I'm just speaking from an outsider looking in." I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'll jump out there more confident from now on." But it's the trying to get ready for the show backstage and then stuff, and it's starting the show, and it's really important that you started off on the right foot. All right. So words of wisdom from my mama. I am my mama's son. So, and I believe in them. Um, so I was just glad she was watching. She commented in the chat. Just be careful. She might be in the chat trolling some people. Gotta watch out. She has no filter.
No.
Um, but good evening. Glad everyone's here. We are live on YouTube and Rumble. I thank you for clicking like and subscribing if you're new for more content. Uh, we don't mess around here. We kind of tell it like it is without the veil over our eyes. We see things for what it is instead of what they try to present to us. So we attempt to try to think critically in a world of chaos, right? And delusions and um, deception. So had a great show last night with Gandalf and Birdlove and Mike. That was awesome. So we're gonna have another good show tonight. It is Hump Day.
Yeah.
So somebody said seems like every Wednesday we have a shooting. I don't know. We're gonna find out next Wednesday if we have another shooting type in the news. The main shooting. With all the people that get shot in America, they sure don't get no recognition. You know, if the shootings are really bad, wouldn't we be worried about the other 15 to 20,000 Americans that are being shot every day in the streets? I mean, it's just so they pick and choose, and that's when they pick and choose, and they turn those into political. Then you know more than likely that's a psyop to push an agenda so that the people will be accepting to what they're bringing forward.
It was a shooter in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that his on his Facebook page that now is scrubbed had a little tiny
man,
meme
that seems to be
that had a guy that had a sickle on his head, like a hat, like communist, and that he was Antifa.
he voted for Kamala T-shirt.
No, seriously, that's what.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point. It's the left. They want to make sure that they get it on this one. The last one was kind of up in arms. He went from a transgender to a conservative overnight. So it was just,
what did they said? It's he shot 2 ICE detainees. Why would he shoot the detainees?
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. Something else going on there. Maybe we should give it 72 hours.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to some other news. We have found out delay lines are very important, right? Especially when we're talking about assassinations and psyops and stuff like that. So keep in mind where Dallas is. Keep in mind where Utah is. Keep in mind where DC is. Keep in mind where all these locations are, where all these things are taking place, and you'll start to connect some dots. And that's why you'll figure out that
on the ley line,
none of the other things matter because they weren't on the ley lines, first off, and it wasn't a high profile situation that could have Congress overreact and run in there and start passing bills overnight. Because now we just green lighted Congress to do whatever they want, whenever they want, except for, hold people accountable. Right? They're pretty good at covering up the misdirection. And it's like people don't realize they're the wolves in sheep's clothing. I mean, what is it? What do they really have to like take off the put a wolf mask on and parade it around? Right. So, but anyways, so our job is to help those as we can move along throughout this operation of psychological manipulation. Is try to help those that can't see because people have a lot of questions. So that's what we're here for, just to help make sense of everything. That's all. Not to harp on it or talk about it forever. But if, as long as they're psychologically manipulating people, then I still got work to do. We're still at war here, and it's an invisible war on the people's minds. Whether you think the Republicans, I think most people will really believe Republicans are the white hats or some shit. Is that what we think? Is that what we've been?
Hell no.
Is that? I'm confused. Is Mike Johnson a white hat?
No, he's supposed to be. Isn't he supposed to be Robin Williams or something?
No. Oh, Mike Johnson. Big Mike.
Oh no, he's supposed to be Edward Snowden.
You got Mike Johnson and Pat McCrotch in there.
I'm glad I don't watch the news anymore. Oh,
I
don't believe any of them are there, so I'm not the one to go to for that stuff.
I want to welcome Mickey to the show.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Glad you made it. Just jump in here whenever you want. We're just going to be having a free for all here today. Going to go through a couple of articles, a couple things. Just try to help enlighten the situation from a higher angle instead of the ground view. We look at things from a higher vantage point and then ahead as well and see, because the things, excuse me, the things they're doing today are not going to come into effect until later. Like, you may not see the immediate action of why these things are taking place now, but later it'll all make sense. Right. But then it may be too late. So you got to quit falling for the okie-doke, right? You got to stand on something or you'll fall for anything. All right. So put aside the political parties and realize neither party did anything for us ever in history. So let's unite. You don't have to agree with each other left or right, but it says the Bible tells us to love thy neighbor like ourselves, and that's the only way through. That's the only way we're going to be able to transition in a world full of psyops that's trying to keep us divided, blaming the left and blaming the right. Hillary Clinton came out today and was blaming the right. So
maybe these psyops will bring us together.
Yeah, it will. It's so chaos. It's so crazy that we're like, okay, enough. Stop.
some of the
You know when the parent finally gets mad?
Republicans are pointing out things that the left is pointing out, and they're saying, "Oh, okay," so they're starting to come together on those type of situations. So
There you go. Let's see what we got today. Oh, we got a couple of movie things. We got the Snake Eyes. I know you've seen the title Snake Eye, 1998. That was a Nicolas Cage movie,
knew I
right?
was
And all the
early. Can
Nicolas
you let me in?
Cage movies are coded, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially having to do with Trump, 88, 9/11, et cetera, et cetera. So here's one of the clips right here I want to play real quick. This is from Snake Eye, 1998.
Well, I'll just need 1 minute.
Me too. And when Ruiz overcommits himself, boom, boom, the devastating.
It's in the pocket.
Have you been writing to me?
Holy cow! The challenger's down. Ruiz is down. What a punch by Lincoln Tyler. Ruiz was pushing him. He was turned. He headbutted him. It's all headbutts. We saw it clearly. The referee must not have seen. Didn't he see that? This is a potentially devastating blow to the champ. I can't see if it's opened up a cut over his eye or not. We saw it in Holyfield Tyson. Now we see it here. He's down. The champ is down. He's flailing for the
Now listen to me, Mr. Secretary. I am telling you, you are the one that's going to be sorry.
Step back to your neutral corner. Get back. Neutral corner.
Wait for it.
What? Who are you? Where? My lucky number.
Lucky number.
At the eye.
What? What?
Just to the little screen. And so we can go to this. Everybody's like, "What? I don't get it, sheepdog. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Are y'all still talking about Charlie Kirk? Is that what you're gonna say? Are y'all still talking about this Epstein?" All right, so then we go to this screen right here. Let me share screen real quick. Man. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. This is this will be faster if I just do this. Here we go. All right. This right here. Let me share screen real quick. Wrong screen. All right, Windows, here we go. So we're seeing like this. Here we go.
Charlie Kirkland.
There we go.
Okay. Hold on, he's pulling something up. How was your day, Mickey?
It was good. I slept through it.
Yeah, I've been feeling kind of tired of the last couple days. I think some energies are coming in. GLENDIA's not feeling well, so we want to wish her healing, send her healing energies today.
Absolutely.
Love and light, Glendia.
Yes.
All right.
Love you.
Sometimes that's your body's way of saying you need to get some rest.
Yes.
Just going through some purging.
Mine was staying so busy yesterday.
You what?
Mine was because I stayed so busy yesterday.
Oh, yeah. There's people getting dizzy and vertigo, and so just make sure you're hydrated, taking care of yourself.
There you go. All right, so
She had that headache yesterday too.
Yeah, I've heard that from several people. But yeah, I think it's the energies.
yep. So we're gonna talk more about the eclipse ritual. We were talking about the ley lines, the 4 cardinal points, or 848, right? So and how all the ley lines and the assassination things, how they are orchestrated, right?
Hmm.
Uh, it's just crazy. There's been no investigation yet. The narrative is strong as hell. Like everyone got the memo from the FBI or something that the case is closed, and I
Yeah,
guess
he killed himself.
it's the lone
They
wolf.
always kill themselves.
Well, this one got arrested, right?
And
Oh,
they
that
said
one? Oh, in
the one
Dallas?
in Dallas
Oh, yeah,
killed
the
himself.
latest and greatest. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the ley lines. Let's go into Dallas too. What we're talking about. The 33rd turning point.
The solar eclipse ritual on the 33rd ley line. The Templar meridians, which are the ley line. The Templar meridians, which are the secret dragon lines. Charlie Memorial happening on the eclipse. And the eclipse is part of the Templar meridians for the different turning points of the sun and the moon and the different 19-year cycles. Every 19.5 years, something big goes down. The symbols of the eclipse, as you can see in this painting by Rene, and you see the tripod. Here's the tripod with George Washington laying the cornerstone, faces east for the sun, because the tripod is an ancient symbol and it is used to find eclipses with the meridians and the different ley lines. The solar and lunar eclipses mapped out by these stone circles. This was the geomagnetic ley line that had a lot of energy in it, but also was able to predict when the eclipses were going to happen. The Knights Templars came into America. Here's Rhode Island, where they actually have a Templar construction. It has 3 windows. The sun is at one of the windows because this is how they were able to map out the eclipse. Astrologers use this term, turning point. Solar turning point is the September equinox coming up on the 22nd. It's the new year with the sun. And the different 8 cardinal turning points, which is where you get the rose compass, which is the sun logo, has the 32 spokes. That goes back to the rose compass. So the roses, the compasses, the eclipses, the astrological alignments, and the ley lines are very important to uncovering the secrets of the ancient meridians.
Knight Templar, ride like war, sword and law, red cross banner,
Prior to the 18th century, the only known method of establishing the longitude was by timing an eclipse of either the sun or the moon. And preserved in the rituals is the different longitude and latitude positions. And this is mapping knowledge that the ancient Vikings, Celts, Phoenicians, Egyptians were all using. So this tragic event that happened, we're going over the strange updates. Click that link below.
Sheepdog, you muted?
You're muted,
Thank
babe.
you. All right, there we go. All right, so that brings us into, as we can see, what they did. They used the technology, like we said, to they just. This is from Andrew Cublet. Um, muted over here. We'll hear the video clip in a second, but I just broke the news that our tech partners tracked over 277,000 devices in and around State Farm Stadium yesterday. They came from all across the country because Charlie pointed us all to Christ, and in his martyrdom, giving us the courage to do the same, to track people. God, Charlie gave you the courage to track people through Christ. That pointed you to Christ. So he pointed you to Christ, but then you said, "Man, you know what? I feel much better about myself now. I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we can track about 300,000 Americans without their knowledge." Yeah, that's Christ-like.
They've been tracking me because they've been sending me text messages for donations for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I've seen that. They got a lot.
Well, if you don't
Apparently.
donate, you're going to be canceled. You could possibly be canceled. So,
Oh no! Oh no!
Canceled from what?
it's your subscription to the shit show, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, you're no longer.
I'm all for that.
They can't play you no more, so therefore you're no longer useful to them once you wake up.
Well, there's my out.
But here we go. Is the interview.
Charlie Kirk show. What did Charlie thought about it yesterday? You know, talking to the boy, see for it, showed me a text from 2021. He put it, he said, "This is my vision." It was a picture. Because at Turning Point, we were sort of known for these big events, but Charlie was always dreaming bigger. And for those of us closest to him, his vision had just become reality. And it's tragic that it happened this way, but it was also beautiful for the country. I know that Charlie would be harvest, he would be so proud. And
They were harvesting energy.
I was pointing to God and us holding vigils and praying and seeing the world's most powerful leaders coming to Phoenix to honor him and to lift up the name of Jesus. It was truly.
Dude, when politicians have to come in and lift up the name of Jesus in front of you, something's not right.
I know Erica was blown away, and as she always told Charlie in private, this is not normal.
What?
I just video, so
I just played a minute. Nobody said that.
I just saw it.
Is there no video sound? Anybody?
You could hear it, but it was in and out. Are we supposed to be seeing something?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not seeing
All right.
anything.
There we go. I'm getting Eddie back.
Yeah, they kicked me out for not donating.
All right, let me try this again. I'll fast forward it through the. Let's get to the good stuff on here. All right, here we go. All aboard the truth train.
Kirk's life, there's nothing normal about Charlie Kirk's death.
You spend so much time with him. How do you feel today?
If I'm being honest with you, Jesse, I feel like the last 11 days were a whirlwind. We went from shell-shocked to devastated, heartbroken, so many tears, to instantly thrown into this moment where we had to plan a stadium event for hundreds of thousands of people. And by the way, I'm going to break a little bit of news on your program, Jesse. Our partners that do sort of geotagging with devices, they told us that they tracked over 277,000 devices in the vicinity of State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
Wow.
There you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. It's geo-tracking.
Tracked over 277,000 that do sort of geotagging with devices. By the way, I'm going to break a little bit of news on your program, Jesse. Our partners that do
Breaking news.
sort of geotagging with devices, they told us that they tracked over 277,000 devices in the vicinity of State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. 277,000.
I told you that smart stadiums that they were going to be tracking, and they're going to use all the technology to see if they can, the cameras that they've been using to identify people in the audience or in the stadium, like the couple they caught hugging, and they knew exactly where they worked and who they were.
Yeah,
Was just
like
done.
I said, that those stadiums became smart stadiums in 2023. That stadium's on a ley line in there.
And this goes right down to your local area, because when I was selling for newspaper, it's called geofencing, and I wouldn't sell it because I didn't think it was right, but I could sell something to a client, and they could have something come across your phone if you used iHeartRadio. They could have a commercial come across your phone if you went into a Ford dealership. They could have a Honda ad come up on your phone. Like it's already been going on, like it just in your local area.
Yeah. So there it is, 277 plus thousand devices tracked. And that's what we were afraid of. It's what, you don't never going to let a good crisis like that go to waste. You're going to test some things out, the technology, right? Especially when you're getting funded by Palantir and donations from big tech. You got to include them in your in the stadium gathering, right? The memorial. What's up?
Oh, I didn't know.
Hmm?
Running deposit.
All right. So here we go. Let's see
You said there's an echo.
is there an echo now?
No, we're good.
There probably was an echo when I was playing that because I was unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let me change the screen. There's another thing we got at the White House. Penguin X. I guess people needed him to go check something out. Let's see what we at. Does he make it to the spot? I don't see.
Yeah, he does.
Well, there's the trucks coming in right there with the
Takes a
fencing.
while.
Around the White House whenever there's a big event in which people might try to get into the White House who shouldn't be there. I didn't know there's any big protests coming up this weekend.
Oh, how do they know to bring fencing in? It's got to be planned, right?
How many times have they done that?
I mean, how do you know? Hey guys, you might want to put some fencing up. We'll give you all a notice. We will be protesting there in about 7 days. Can you please bring in some?
They already know there's going to be protests. Now, how do they know that?
Because it's all planned. It's like it's all scripted bullshit. How do you get fencing? How do you know in advance that you need fencing? Anyways, man, some just talk about a shit show. How many times they brought fencing?
Yeah, he's good. there's a statue of
15,000 times, I think, right?
Epstein and Trump holding hands in front of
Free Laos Chinese protest. Does this go through? I think it's a dead end. No, we'll go check it out. Look at these stupid fences.
Is this the right video? I don't see it.
I guess maybe that's going to be the entrance. Because once again, a protest statue has appeared down here on the National Mall. Today, the subject of the mall protest is Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, it says Friends for Good or something.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Guess somebody's trolling Congress.
Yeah, I mean that's
Somebody, because it's facing toward the Senate. That's pretty expensive, isn't it?
yes. Somebody spent a lot of money.
Oh, there's the heart.
Yeah, because in honor of.
Yeah.
Oh well, I sent you.
Okay, let me do that real quick. In honor of Friendship Month, we celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything. It's almost like the movie, the
it's part of
President Businessman. Yeah.
Yeah. And the what was that one? Pizza Man?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Where it's like that movie, the Christmas movie where the uncle cuts his bonus. I mean, his boss cuts his bonus. National Lampoon.
Chevy Chase.
And then he goes to the boss's house and jerks him up, and he didn't realize that how the decisions that he made and the cuts that he made affected his life. Right. So, but at the end, he changed his heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Same thing. It's like the same. It's good, movie. It's good. Like McDonald's.
They've never aged.
So this is trolling. Next level expense. Somebody's got some help trolling dead.
All right, guys. Well, it's a pretty quiet day out here on the National Mall, as you can see.
It is up there.
Just lounging about. On this
the grass is cut. Thanks, Trump.
side,
He's got arrested.
you get a lot of people taking pictures
Great.
of the Epstein photo out here in front of the Capitol building.
Don't see any homeless people. Wonder what the plan was for them, right? Once they cleaned everything up.
Well, they've been taking them off the streets.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Mickey, if you're backstage and you're on mute, you're gonna have to make sure the TV or something in the background isn't playing like you're used to watching it, because you'll get the echo.
Only thing going is my air conditioner.
Okay. But we're gonna play this again. I think it deserves a second play for 2 nights in a row.
Movie. All right, y'all. Everybody says the world is a stage, and all we're watching is a movie going on. And they're doing this to stop all the panicking and people from going crazy when the shit happens. I got news for you. And y'all pass this message along. Y'all put it out on your own shit. We need to flood everything with it. Stop the fucking movie. Cut. You're causing more mental damage by trying to prolong shit, if that's the case, than you would if you just ripped off that fucking Band-Aid. Because it's ridiculous. I don't feel like I'm a crazy person. But this has got me feeling like a crazy person. I'm looking for shit all the time. Everybody else, you're driving the same people mad because we don't know what the hell's going on no more. Nothing makes sense. The Charlie Kirk situation, strange as hell. Don't make sense. Hand signals. That man did not carry a gun. Check out that weapon in his pants leg. That man did not. All right, y'all. We got to wake up. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but they say it's a movie. We need to flood TikTok. Stop. Cut. We are tired of this shit. I'm over it. I'm over it. Just do whatever the fuck you're gonna do and let us live our lives. We're tired of this shit. The social media constantly forcing shit. You restrict us constantly on every damn thing there is out there in the world when we put out any news. Yet you let constant misinformation put out by companies, health companies, people trying to sell shit, other governments, everything all over these sites. Put it into the movie. You're causing more mental damage to the sanity of the real people out here than you would if you just ripped off the fucking Band-Aid. Take it off. Spread this shit. Make your own video. Cut. Stop the damn movie. All right, y'all. Everybody says the world.
Right? That's how we all feel about right now, right?
Stop that damn movie.
That's more than how I feel. I had one of my Twitter friends. He put out, most of the world isn't ready for this yet. I'm like, bro, I wasn't ready for it, but I did my research and looked into it. I'd rather know the truth than to be walking around like a moron, you know?
Right? Yeah.
There's no way I was ready for it.
Right.
All right. So here's another little message here for the. What did it say? The time.
Yeah, Ellie said Trump always bragged about putting his face on a statue. Oh, there he got one.
Put that on Mount Epstein more. But here we go. Normally he would sue somebody, wouldn't he, if it was like misinformation?
Freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, and especially if it's you can't sue him because it could possibly be
Well,
true.
they had that gold TV in front of the White House too, showing clips of Trump dancing with Epstein. And
All right.
they said, in America, we have freedom of speech, even if you don't like it.
All right, here's what's playing out now. Looks like he's playing the villain. I don't know. We'll see. Sure looks that way. So we remember the Tylenol incident that went viral. This was it this morning. The Tylenol was today. Was that or was it yesterday? Anyways.
And you know, I'm a big supporter of vaccines. I got a certain vaccine approved in 9 months. No, I'm a big believer in vaccines. I've seen how great vaccines can be. So I'm a believer.
Ronald, do you get the flu shot every year?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I've never had one. And thus far, I've never had the flu. I don't like the idea of injecting.
So you hear how they laugh after because they know they give you the flu when they inject you. That's why I said that's why I've never had the flu, because he never got the vaccine. So right, we just want to.
I don't like the idea of injecting bad stuff into your body, which is basically what they do. And I guess this one has not been very effective to start off with, but the last one. But I've never had a flu shot, and I've never had the flu.
I'm a believer.
Mute this over here. Let me on a whole nother screen. There we go. All right, there. Let's play it again.
And you know, I'm a big supporter of vaccines. I got a certain vaccine approved in 9 months. No, I'm a big believer in vaccines. I've seen how great vaccines can be. So I'm a believer.
Ronald, do you get the flu shot every year?
No.
Why?
No, I don't know. I've never had one. And thus far, I've never had the flu. I don't like the idea of injecting bad stuff into your body, which is basically what they do. And I guess this one has not been very effective to start off with, but the last one. But I've never had a flu shot, and I've never had the flu.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
All right, we see the flip-flopping, right, on something so important as the bioweapon or any other kind of vaccine. Two different people, right? Playing both sides is what we're seeing, right? The double-headed eagle.
Yes.
33rd degree Masonic.
Scottish Rite.
Scottish Rite, sorry. Are those black blackball dictionaries in the back?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Trying to tell you something, right?
Yeah. So everyone should get the flu shot except Donald Trump, huh? Everyone should get the COVID shot except for members of Congress, staff, and Pfizer, and Moderna employees. Bill Gates says everyone should get Maxine Waters, except his own kids. All right, so that's the flip-flopping that we're talking about. And this is the when you go back and compare the before and now what we see today, it's two different things. So there's something influencing his decision today, right? What is it? That's all we're saying. What is it that that made him change his stance? And then go from there. I don't know if it's the $100 million donation from Big Pharma. That could be possible, according to Robert Kennedy Jr.
Right. He did say that. Yeah.
Alrighty. So we're talking about sun cycles. We're talking about ley lines. We're talking about the 33rd degree parallel and the assassinations and stuff like that. How that takes place, but it also has an effect on our consciousness, right? Um, the different seasons bring different um, energies, so to speak, right? So I want to play a little clip here. We're talking about the Revival of Wisdom channel. He does a really good job. It's a 13-minute clip. This should help people tremendously, and it'll also help us when we bring more information in the back chats and the Telegram chats when we really dig in and try to help our elders along the way that are struggling. But not only that, but to keep them company, because a lot of them are lonely and they don't trust the media and they trust the tribe, and so we got to be there for them. So we will be doing a Saturday show for the elders. So just throwing that out there, but we're going to get started on this video and how the sun cycles affects consciousness and how to take advantage of that. And that this is why these psyops are so crazy, because they know this and they don't want you to raise the consciousness, or maybe they do. So it's a yin and a yang. It's the good and the bad coming out of all this. All right. It's going to be good for the awakened, and it's going to be bad for those that stayed asleep. But we're trying to reach the masses, but they got their heads up there.
Don't just change the external world, they also change your internal world. They have a psychological and a spiritual effect on your consciousness. If you're new to esotericism, you may not really understand this, but if you have some deep understanding of as above, so below, you already know this. But today we're going to be explaining it in great detail. So tune in, take a pen and paper, maybe make some notes. So we have 4 seasons. The sun is the main source of life on the earth, and it changes the circumstances on the earth in 4 different ways. Of course, we have spring, summer, winter, and autumn. These are the 4 states of the earth due to the sun's cycle. Not only do they take place on the earth, they also take place on you, your body, your mind, your spirit, your consciousness. They change things internally and externally. The first thing we need to understand is that we have a dual nature. We have a mind, and in that mind, we have an internal self. That's what we call the spiritual self. It is the individual that exists within their own mind, within their own consciousness. It is the self that imagines, thinks, feels. That's the spiritual self. And internally, that self is the true self. When it's detached from the false identifications, of course, such as the ego. But the true self dwells within the mind, and that's the immortal self. That's the self that will never die, never perish, that will always be there, and it always has been there, the internal self. But on the other side of the mind, the outside of the mind, we have this, what we call our physical human body. This is our external physical body. So outside of us is a physical reality, but inside of us is a spiritual, non-physical reality. Inside of us cannot be measured. Outside of us can be measured. So we have an internal world and an external world. I think this is the reason why the word individual has the word dual at the end. Dual meaning opposing or two. We have a dual nature. Inner world, in the mind and a self out the mind. And the mind acts as some sort of doorway. It is a doorway into ourself. So in esotericism, this is what it's all about. It's about we work with the internal world. We try and figure out who we are from the inside out, not who we are outside of us. Because we realize that the external world is nothing but a crystallization of what's happening inside of us. Our lives are a result of every single thought that we thought in the past. So let's not get off track here. Let's carry on. As I was discussing the seasons, we have an internal world in the mind and a self outside the mind. And this is reflected even in the cycles of the heavens. This is how you know the universe is intelligently designed, and the law of correspondence corresponds with everything. The law of correspondence is as above, so below. It's not a Hermetic principle. It's not a Freemasonic principle. The law of correspondence, as above, so below, is just the law of life, of the universe. It is in everything. So the daytime, the sun, this is external impressions, or expressions, should I say. We express ourselves outside the mind, in the outside world, in the material body, taking actions outside of us during this daytime. The sun represents outward expression, the daytime. This is when we wake up, we're conscious, we do things outside of our mind. But then the nighttime comes around and it becomes dark and the moon rules over the nighttime. And we return back to our internal world. We return back to the darkness. We return back to the internal self, the self in the mind. Really is fascinating. And this is as above, so below. This follows the correspondence. This follows the law. Although that the outside world has a cycle of day and night, so does our own mind have this cycle. As above, so below. As within, so without. What's happening outside of us is also happening inside of us. The mind is also going in a cycle. Because in the daytime, the mind wakes up and we express things externally. But when the sun goes away and the electromagnetic rays of the sun are not very strong, our brainwaves decreases, our body activity decreases. It slows down and we return to the internal self. The body switches off and we return to the internal self in the mind. We enter in the doorway of the mind and return to the internal, the spiritual self. And when the body is less active, this is when we are more connected to the internal world, our spiritual true self. So as above, so below corresponds with the day and night, the sun and the moon. The moon represents our internal world, the world inside our mind, the self inside the mind. And the sun represents the external self in the external world. So not only are these cycles happening in nature, the darkness outside of us when the sun goes away is the same darkness that we go within ourselves when we go to sleep. It's the same cycle. Our bodies are in the cycle of the external world also, as above, so below. But then we can even take this even further. This fractals down even further. If we look at the cycle of the yearly cycle of the sun, which is what we call the 12 zodiac signs, we notice that these 4 seasons also take place in every single cycle of the day. So a yearly cycle can be seen as a big version of a daily cycle, or a daily cycle can be seen as a smaller version of a yearly cycle. For example, we look at Aries, which is spring. This is when the sun springs everything back to life in the spring. This is when the crops start to spring up and start to grow again. But we could see that at 6 a.m. in the morning when the sun rises and just cracks over the horizon and starts to bring light into our day. Aries is associated with the morning time also as spring. Morning time is a smaller version of spring. Then we look at the summertime. The summertime is midday when the sun is at the top of the middle of the sky. This is when the sun is most powerful, most radiant in our day. This could be seen as the summertime. Then when the sun starts to set, this is associated with autumn. Autumn time is the sunset. Then the winter time is associated with the nighttime, the midnight, when everything's very dark. So a daily cycle is basically a smaller version of a yearly cycle. And just how I explained how the cycle of the sun outside of us also happens inside of us with our consciousness falling asleep when the sun goes away, is also happening to us on a yearly cycle also. So the daytime is associated with the summer and the nighttime is associated with the winter. The winter is like the inhale. The summer is like the exhale. It's the breath of the universe, just like how we breathe in and out of our lungs. Everything takes this rhythm and polarity, okay? So winter is associated with the self and the world inside of ourselves, inside of our mind, the spiritual self, the internal. Because the winter is when the sun's rays, electromagnetic rays, are not very powerful. And this decreases brainwave activity, making us more connected to our internal world, inside the mind. But the summer's the complete opposite. The summer is when the sun is very, very powerful. And the sun's powerful electromagnetic rays increase brain activity, making us more actionable in the physical world outside of our mind, in the external world. So summer is the daytime and winter is a big version of the nighttime. Vice versa. Just like how in the winter, we're more in the house, we're inside buildings because it's very cold outside. Animals hibernate, they go inside, they go into little places, they collect all their food and prepare for the winter. They go inside, they go in darkness to hibernate. So does our consciousness, our spirit, the self inside of our mind. We can use these cycles to our advantage, to evolve spiritually, to connect and be more balanced. You know, I've mentioned a lot of this inside the university to my members, to the family inside of there. We discussed this. We had a great discussion about this. And, you know, the live calls we have are priceless. The conversations you can have with someone when they're awake, you never forget them. You always have deep, meaningful conversations. And we discussed this deeply, and we were going into some interesting things about how we can use these types of changes in the seasons for our spiritual growth. We even discussed about spring and autumn and how they're associated with the different spiritual bodies that we have. But anyways, let's not get off track. Lucid dreaming, dreaming itself, and astral projections, I find are more easily accessible during the winter and the night times. Like I said, because the brain activity is decreased due to the sun being not powerful, we are more reconnected with the self inside the mind, the spiritual self, the immortal self. Wintertime is a great time to work on yourself, to start to gaining discipline, to meditating, to really working on the subconscious. Because spiritual work is harder than any physical labor. You really got to dig deep within yourself and be honest and true with yourselves. I think this is the reason why, you know, a lot of people convert to spirituality from religion. They come into spirituality and then they go back to religion because they realize spirituality is it's difficult. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to really face the traumas, the negative aspects of yourself, the dark side of yourself, and bring it to light and transform it. And that sort of work is a lot more difficult to do than any physical labor. So the winter time is the time that we go inside ourselves. We reflect a lot more. We need to work on ourselves, on our mind, on our negative habits, on our dark traits, on our things that we have been pushing away and not controlling. The winter time is that time we can really start to connect with the internal self, work on our imagination, work on our mental willpower, work on all of these things like lucid dreaming, astral projections, and purifying ourselves, removing any mental barriers, any negative belief systems that may be subconsciously holding us back. It's easier to access the subconscious in the nighttime and in the winter, especially the winter. That's why I made this video, because we're in autumn now. We're transitioning into the winter. So I thought I'd share this with you all. And it's important to understand that you are a microcosm of God. Like I said, the law of correspondence associates with everything in the universe, people. Everything. And that's the best thing with the law of correspondence. And I've been using this for the past 3 to 4 years, right? The law of correspondence has determined and filtered out so many lies that was given to me, that's given to you, that's given to everyone in the world. The law of correspondence is like a filter. If someone gives you a piece of information, for example, gravity, and it does not apply with the law of correspondence, then you know it's a lie, because it's a universal thing. What happens inside of me also happens outside of me. What happens in my astral world happens in my material world, more than likely. As above, so below corresponds with everything. The same structure in my veins, in my nervous system, is the same structure in the trees, in galaxies, in everything. As above, so below, the universe is a fractal universe. Therefore, the point that I was getting at is that you are a microcosm of God. The same mind that God manifested things through thinking. He thought the stars, the earth, nature, the human body, designed everything with the God mind. He thought everything into existence. And that mind, them powers that God used to to manifest everything into physical existence through the power of thought is the same mind that you possess, but on a smaller scale. God manifested the macrocosm through thought, as the universe is a mental universe. Everything you see around you was thought, then manifested into physical reality. God manifested the macrocosm, the world, through thought, and that same force of thought you use to create the microcosm, to create your own world. You think your life into reality, your world into reality. Your body is a microcosm, a miniature universe. Every thought you think commands 50 trillion cells in your body, and your cells religiously execute on every command that you give it. You're in charge of 50 trillion cells. You're literally commanding a whole civilization inside your body. And this is how you are a reflection of the divine. The God mind created the macrocosm, the world, and you create your own world inside that world using the same power as thought. Very powerful. So everything that happens outside of you is also happening inside of you. The law of correspondence is the most important, the law that you could possibly learn, because it makes everything so clear for you in the universe. Makes life so clear. You see the reality for what it truly is. It's a reflection of the higher dimensions. Just like how reality right now is a reflection of what's happening inside of people's minds and consciousness. We can't blame the elites for all the negative things that's happening in reality, because all the negative things that's happening in reality is the negative things that's happening in people's minds. We need to take control of ourselves. So with that being said, thank you all, everyone. If you wish to read more, 90% of you watching this video have already got this book. I want to say thank you for your support. It means the world to me. It makes me research more and write more books. And the book of symbolism is coming very soon. So
Good job. Good job.
That's the Book of Wisdom.
So this would be a good thing that you could do at home for your children, where they can read a book, do a video report on it like that,
Yes.
and then use it to teach others.
Yes.
And show progress along their journey as well, right?
Yes.
Starting from their first video they've ever made to along the journey.
We have the PDF of the Book of Wisdom. I'll repost it, but yes, they have the book now. And then he's got the Book of Symbolism. That's what I want to get.
So you see the four, and if this picture represents this right here, all right, double X chromosome, female. We have the XY, male. God is male and female. You can create both. You see the different angels at the different four corners in representation of the different seasons. Excuse me. The angels blowing from each corner of the earth, just like depicted on a map. You know, you have the angels at the top of each map corner blowing inwards on the old maps. So, oh, this is the other thing we went over. Let's open this. The keys, right? Since we're on this topic, I don't want to. We went over this in the chat as well. I don't know if you want to go over this real quick. Just
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's.
I don't want to read it all, but if you want to just talk about what this is representing,
It's
different levels of consciousness. There's like 5 levels, and each level that you have mastered is represented in these pictures as like different stages of the old self to becoming the one that you see in the center, right? And we see right here the lions at each feet, like the lion's gate.
Yeah, I posted it in the chat. I'll post it again. It's Nostradamus. The woman with the keys marks the beginning, right? And yeah, it's the woman that brings the keys of wisdom, to
Right.
raise humans' consciousness to avoid a cataclysm.
Cataclysm. It's the way to salvation. Loving thy neighbor like thyself. Or even the shadow, wouldn't that be? Is that the neighbor that we have inside of us? Hey, neighbor. Well, she be my neighbor. So we have the gold key, silver key with teeth on it. That's representation of different levels of knowledge, coming down. The gold represents knowledge coming down, which is the wisdom. So when they say you get the gold, it's the enlightenment. And then silver could be stored up, the deeds, so to speak, that we do. When we help somebody without, telling everybody we helped somebody, you just did it. Like it was between you and God that you did something. So those things, it's what you do when nobody's looking type things, right? It's not what you do when everybody's looking. It's what you do behind the scenes. And I know with Mike, he did a lot behind the scenes. So
A lot of people do.
yeah, a lot of people have, and you don't get recognition, but it's not about that. So the emergence of the woman, where what we were talking about, Nostradamus had put this in. This is in some of the drawings, and it talks about
It is quatrains.
like the gold represents like the golden age, right?
The
So
golden dawn.
each different color in the background, even the peacock or the phoenix coming out of the ashes right here on the left. Let's zoom in. All right. So we talked about. What somebody said they gotta have teeth on it. The keys gotta have teeth.
Yes.
Or let's go to that. Let's see what that is. So here's the purpose of the key is to open the lock, right? So the real keys of the kingdom of heaven and the symbol of consciousness, picture 27. The knowledge about action of consciousness for the transition, because we're going through the transition period. So Nostradamus shows in his pictures how how keys, how real keys look to the symbolism of consciousness for humanity's transition into the kingdom of heaven, or the continuation of life upon the occurrence of global cataclysms. He presented two codes on the heads of the keys in picture 27. The purpose of the key is to open the lock, which closes something important or valuable from any strangers. That's each key. Tooth bit has special code with information notches. On the keys represented by Nostradamus in picture 27, each um, teeth bits are equal, smooth, without any information notches, therefore they do not have code. The keys are symbolical. That's it. Like you see right here, it's just got a flat end that ain't cut. Because those keys don't have the codes. So Nostradamus explains that the mystery of the real keys that are given to mankind from the above before beginning of global cataclysms of the planet destruction is not in the secret of tooth cipher keys. Tooth cipher keys provide humanity with new knowledge about work of consciousness that will allow making the transition to a different level of the material world. So we're coming out of the four-dimensional, three-dimensional, materialistic, four-dimensional time, 5D, five-dimensional, 5 levels, right, of the material world. There's 5 different levels in the material world as long as you're in this body, right? And the body's a limitation. So the mystery of the two Nostradamus keys reveals symbols of consciousness on their heads. They represent the main symbols of consciousness and the principle of the transition. Didn't it say in the Bible about something on the forehead and on the wrist? Huh?
The mark.
Oh. So Nostradamus, the key heads in the symbolism of consciousness. Crossed keys in the left hand of the woman and the keys of the kingdom of heaven, considered as a symbol of liberation and the transition to immortality. The head of one key represents an individual human cell and its structure. The head of the other key reveals the principle of the united consciousness and also the law of the united consciousness action, the main law of the transition. This head is represented by 3 crescents of united consciousness, 1 large and 2 small. Yellow color of the keys indicates that this information is given from above. That's why they had the golden halo. What?
Your mic.
What about it?
Can't
Oh,
hear you.
you can't hear me?
Might want to turn it up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Check, check.
I can hear you.
So the 5 levels of consciousness in the universe, right? So the first key, the cell of individual consciousness, is a representation of a human being in the information world. 3 small circles show the 3 previous levels of consciousness included in the individual cell of human beings, which reveal the structure of a human cell, which is what we see down here on the right. And we see them 2 cells come together, right? Then they make 3 cells, 4 cells. Then you have the tree of life, right?
Yep.
So that's inside and out, and this is in, perfect union. This is when the 2 come together.
So that's why you talk about the divine feminine coming in, right? The state of consciousness, awareness,
Right. A balance.
a balance.
So 5 levels of consciousness, and in the universe, according to the symbolism of consciousness in the universe, develop 5 levels of consciousness. The first level of consciousness corresponds to the inorganic nature of the stars, is shown in the picture by the sun, the feet. The third level of consciousness corresponds to the organic nature, of the stars. Okay, let me go to the second one. The second level of consciousness corresponds to the inorganic nature of the planet. It's the ground on which stands the woman with her bare feet, right? And that was what the empress showed up on the horse and carriage. She was barefooted in a dress,
Yeah, she's a
with her tribal gear on.
representation
Yeah,
of the
just
embodiment of
yeah,
the what you can't see in the physical, right? So
right,
she did it in the physical, so you understand the spiritual.
exactly. So according to the symbolism of consciousness in the universe, there's 5 levels. We did the second one, bare feet, woman, and with her. Um, it's the ground on which stands the woman with the bare feet. The third level of consciousness corresponds, so she's grounded to the earth. She's connected. She's one. The third level of consciousness corresponds to the organic nature of the planet. It is plants and animals depicted on the picture as flowers and lions. The fourth level of consciousness corresponds to the individual consciousness of human being. As noted, human consciousness includes 3 previous levels of consciousness. The fifth level of consciousness is the united consciousness of humanity. This is the highest level of consciousness in the universe. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Raise your consciousness. Um, what was the other one? So raising your consciousness, right?
Right. And they had the wisdom and the knowledge had to be
Your
taught
awareness.
taught to the masses so that the conscious level could rise, because the religion and the indoctrination has kept us at very low,
Right.
right? Because it wasn't interpreted like it was supposed to be correctly.
Right. So ascension, right?
Is your consciousness rising?
Ascending, not descending. Anything with a DE in front of it is the duh. It's to go below or to drop. You want to rise above. So this is shifting the consciousness in the different levels, right? Where people are at, and then it takes work. But this just really raising your awareness and being able to see through the shit show and not being manipulated by everything you see. You have the spiritual wisdom to really understand what's taking place here, and it's not a political Republican versus Democrat, left versus right. This is about uniting the country or uniting within on a level where we're at right now. We got to heal, unite within, and then you can help others, but you can't do nothing but as an individual because everybody has free will. But you can collectively make the transition yourself
I worked on yourself.
by working on yourself and facing the shadow. Right. So everything we've been talking about, the material. So we're still in the material world. We're just raising the consciousness in it. Therefore, it has no more power over us. We know it's just a dance. Life is a dance, and I hope you dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the two keys of the symbolism of consciousness are real. So gold and silver of the kingdom of heaven are symbolic. They were handed over to the apostle Peter, the founder of the papacy, the first pope, right? When we told you how to get the book called Liberation Planet Earth by Peter, Occupation of Planet Earth by Peter, a liberation manual.
Yeah.
It has the keys, and we're talking about the keys of Peter. Everybody's like, who's this Peter guy? Well, this is what we're talking about.
And the Vatican took the information and hid the knowledge.
Yeah.
But another key was handed to Mary Magdalene, who at the end, which is the representation of the divine feminine, comes in to raise humanity's consciousness to avoid cataclysms, bad things.
Right. So we're off balance, in other words,
Yeah.
and we have the pendulum swinging back the other way. But we're just showing the different symbolisms in the.
Yeah, all of it has meaning, right? All the symbolisms, they drew them out so they could explain what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to know what all those mean.
So they wear a tiara, and that's funny, like you said, Miss America puts a tiara on.
Yes, and Erica Kirk was Miss America, so she's like hijacking that.
Right.
Right. Because it's not one person, right? It's an energy.
So trumpeting angel of the apocalypse, or the keys to the symbolism of consciousness for the transition. So the trumpeting angel of the apocalypse not only warns mankind about danger of global cataclysms, but beginning also reports that there is way of salvation. It is the transition, which has to be made on another safe level of the material world. So we have a multi-layer structure of the material world. The picture discloses a multi-layering of the material world and presents two levels. The level of the crystal structures where today humanity lives is emphasized by a low pedestal with earth and grass on which stands a barefoot woman in a tiara. So the highest level of the material world is designed by a cloud from which is trumpeting to us angel of the apocalypse. Get the trumpeting angel of the apocalypse warns humanity of the mortal danger of global cataclysms on set. The trumpeting angel of the apocalypse is presented in many paintings about the apocalypse and the day of judgment. Yellow color, or excuse me, yellow color of clothes and trumpet angel indicate that he is hurrying to announce humanity about the information transmitted from above. So you have the blue wing, the color, the blue color of angels, like the Blue Angels, F-18 squadron, the Blue Angels. Wings inform that the main content of his message about the transition of humanity to its highest safe level of the material world for the salvation from cataclysms. This underlines also blue colors of clouds on which stands an angel. And we see over here to the right. White long quill in the right hand of an angel means that the instructions for the transition will be written and transmitted to humanity in details in written form. Long quill reports that the instructions will be written for a long time because they will explain in detail all the elements of the transition. Long pipe of the angel, expanding shape of an angel. Pipe indicates adherence to the decision about the transition of more and more people. So it's just a transitioning phase we're all going through over time. So there's the tier, there's the different speeds of the cell. Slower the speed, the lower the vibration, the higher the vibration, faster the lower the peaks are. Higher peaks, lower vibe, fast, more uh, closer peaks right here. You see the different individual cell one and individual cell two, different planes. So we got also the bare feet of the woman standing on the ground indicates the habit of mankind. It is shown that we are living on earth at one of the three main levels of the parallel worlds of the material world, namely on the level of the crystal structures. This level is indicated by the brown earth and grass. So, on the other hand, the bare feet of the woman, as well as many other elements of her body and clothing, inform about the united consciousness. 5 toes on each foot means 5 by 5, the fifth level of consciousness. The united consciousness. 2 feet with 5 fingers on each portray repeated association of consciousness. The information indicates that mankind has to unite consciousness and make the transition to another safe level of the material world in order to not be annihilated by global cataclysms. All right. That's why it's important to have the balance. It's like disturbing something and taking something out of it. It's going to cause an earthquake, right? It's like a disruption in our, even in your body, it does that.
And the reason, I mean, everyone wants Band-Aid ripped off, but you got to remember, we're also energy, which affects things that could cause things, right? So if it's not done properly, it could actually cause harm. So they, if they're doing the movie, then they have to wake people up at certain levels to keep things in balance, or things could happen, like
Yeah, disrupt the
weather
whole.
or stuff like that.
Yeah, because we're all energy beings.
Yes.
So I think the craziness in the movie is it's so obviously staged in some manner that people are waking up to that, and I think that's what how they're doing it. You know what I mean? It's making it so damn redundant and just over and over. Like, like I can see, running the inscription on the bullet psyop, one time, but doing it 10 days later. That's like,
Well,
hey,
they're showing you
you're doing it again. So are you telling me that the guy that was involved with
what
Charlie
they
Kirk
have
thing is
been
also
doing.
involved in
So
Dallas?
that's what they have been doing.
That's what
That's
they're
what they're
saying.
trying to show you.
It has nothing to do with being anti-ICE or anything like that. That's just propaganda to further along the support for more tyranny on the public without any
Well, you have to
questions
have
asked.
something. That's job security, right?
Yeah, psyop people into believing they need you
Yeah.
for their safety, which something
Because
happens to you, nobody's there. Oh,
they need the public to want
support.
them, right?
Right. We need more.
They want
We
same
need.
thing with government, all that.
Let's get rid of the sheriffs. Let's just make everybody an FBI agent. Right. Federal government. Right. Just going to turn it all into screw it. Who needs a sheriff? Anyways. So
Well,
this is what it's all about. We're talking about.
wait till they get the pictures of Trump and Epstein frolicking in bronze going on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted on Facebook. Yeah.
Sorry, I had my earpiece out. So that's Nostradamus talking about what we're dealing with today in the transition.
Yeah, that's really good read. It's kind of long, but it's really good. I reposted it on the wall too.
We read it this morning or today, so you can go check it out in the chat on Rumble. It's labeled the War Room Chat Snake Eyes
Yes, from this morning.
98. All right. So we're going to look at. Let's go to here. Take this off. Share this. Share. All right, there we go. Stage. There we go. Okay. All right. Put that down. Here we go. So guess we'll just roll through some things real quick and then I'll stop whenever we would want to talk about it. There we go. Oh, y'all can see that? All right, there we go. We'll go back to that. Here we go. So here's the keys. That's a widescreen look. Different codes, different levels. Almost looks like a castle. No teeth. No codes. Just 2 gold keys.
If I told you your tears are not just releasing pain, your tears can rewrite timelines. You see, tears are not just water. They're scalar crystals, and according to the CDT plate,
Here we played this morning too.
Also, they when was it? They had 10,000 people watching a live stream today, thinking they were going to be raptured.
Yeah, we got left behind today. I think.
And it's sad. I don't know if these are. I mean, there was a bunch of clips, but I don't know if people were giving away all their stuff, thinking they were leaving today. So, if you know someone like that, then just comfort them, because I'm sure that did a number on people that believed that, right? And this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened many, many, many times for a very long time.
Right.
That people were giving their cars away, their dogs, all sorts of crazy stuff, which is that's sad. Yeah, I don't know who's giving dates out, but that's crazy.
Oh, it was Christian. It was CBN.
Wow.
2 weeks ago, I got the clip.
Yeah, that's wrong, because to think that what that does to someone that really believed that, and thinking they were, it was time for them to get out of here and they were going to be, in heaven, and that's got to crush somebody spiritually, mentally, and then they just gave away all their stuff, which, it's really disheartening.
Yeah.
if I told you your tears are not just releasing pain, your tears can rewrite timelines. You see, tears are not just water. They're scalar liquid crystals, and according to the CDT plates, your tears are encoded with hydroplasmic light, micro liquid particles that carry. If I told you your tears are not just releasing pain, your tears can rewrite timelines. You see, tears are not just water. They're scalar liquid crystals, and according to the CDT plates, your tears are encoded with hydroplasmic light, micro liquid particles that carry your emotional frequency. And when you cry from authentic emotion, you're emitting a biochemical waveform that carries information through your morphogenetic field. Emotion is the magnet of timeline. So every timeline exists as a scalar potential. And it's your emotional body that decides which path your body will collapse into. When deep emotion moves through the field and is released through tears, It discharges charge from stuck waveforms. It's like popping distortion bubbles. And this creates space for a higher frequency timeline to lock in. But only authentic tears can create shift. You can't fake this. Tears that shift timelines come from cellular truth, not from performance. And when your heart breaks open without resistance, your biocircuitry realigns, your staff and rod architecture in your body begin to spin differently. It's electromagnetic and it's a sacred process. Every tear you shed in truth is a vote for a different earth. Tears are not weakness. It's quantum choice. So the next time you cry, don't try to stop it. Bless it, because your tears are holy water, and they hold the power to rewrite your future.
Yeah. There you go. Sometimes you gotta shed it.
Right.
Will the rapture?
But this is the CBN News, September 23rd. Rapture predictions ignite controversy. So this is where that came from. I just wanted, if you've seen all the TikToks, right? It's still like a game to see who's still plugged in to the matrix and who's still easily manipulated by what they see on TV from talking heads. But this is what everything was about. I guess it's only got 216,000 views 2 weeks ago.
Happened on September 23rd, as in a couple weeks.
Hold on 1 second. Let me mute.
From now. Well, this concept has become viral all of a sudden, and here are just a few clips of what's happening online.
Is the rapture really now in September? That's what a lot of people have been saying. You may have seen many videos, TikToks, or comments claiming the rapture is coming in September. This is during the Jewish Feast of Trumpets.
But then I saw a TikTok of a guy saying he was selling his house and all of his cars, and he was getting himself ready for the rapture happening on September 23rd. And I realized people actually think the rapture is happening September 23rd.
I've been asked to speak and address the idea or the message that's been spreading, that's viral, that there's going to be the rapture. It will fall on this September of 2025 on Rosh Hashanah.
CBN's Billy Hollowell joins us now. Billy, what's going on with this whole September 23rd rapture idea?
You know, I hope it's happening. I'm going to pack my stuff right now and get ready to go. But no, look, the rapture is not an event. None of these prophetic events, any end times event, we are not supposed to be date setting. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But for some reason, people have sort of fixated, and I think it's because you have a Jewish holiday, right? The Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah, that is happening. I believe it's on sundown on the 22nd through the 24th of September. And so the 23rd falling in the middle of that during the Feast of Trumpets, it is sparking all sorts of speculation. You take that event, right, on the calendar, the new year there, and you mix it with all the things that are happening in the Middle East right now, with Israel, with a push for a two-state solution, with other countries probably very quickly trying to push on Israel to, adopt this two-state solution. So people have, for some reason, said, oh, the rapture is happening. And I have to tell you, we have seen this again and again and again. It goes back centuries of people trying to predict, when we're not supposed to, the date of the rapture. And the most infamous one of late happened a few years back with Harold Camping saying that he had a specific date for the rapture. I think he even chose a second date when the first one didn't happen based on all these calculations. And there's some real dangers to this, which we can talk about. But that's sort of the background of what is going on here.
Well, obviously, the verse that people will pull out here is Matthew 24:36. But about the day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. But then you also will hear these people, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, and there's a large camp of folks that will say, you know, Daniel actually predicted the coming of the Messiah to the day. And so we should be hyper vigilant to be studying prophecy, hyper vigilant to be reading the signs and the times, hyper vigilant to see, you know, to calculate this kind of thing. So, Billy, obviously, you've spent a lot of time researching end time stuff, researching latter days concepts and biblical worldviews. What do you think is, not to put you on the spot, the most biblical way of handling these date sets?
No, I love that question because, by the way, it's not just in Matthew. It's also Mark 13:32 says almost the same exact thing word for word about nobody knowing the day or the hour. So you see it there twice in the Gospels. Here's the deal. When you go and you look at what Jesus says, he talks about all sorts of things. When he's asked by the disciples for, you know, the signs of the end times, right? He talks about false messiahs and prophets. He talks about wars and disasters, earthquakes and famines, right? He says these are just the beginning. He talks about persecution, all sorts of different elements. He talks about the importance of endurance and all of that, right? There's so much more there. But I think the appropriate balance is to be aware of these signs, right? To know that we're always marching toward the end of days. And I think the key difference between, you know, Daniel and the first prophecies that we're talking about of Jesus and the end times is that the end times is about the, you know, the end of the age, the new era, the new heaven and earth. And there's so much debate and discussion about all that. It's a very different type of prophecy. So we're told to be aware of those signs. I think there's a reason why Jesus gives us those, but not to obsess about the day or the hour, because so many things, you know, need to happen or are going to happen based on what we see in prophecy. So I think our balance is don't date set, know that we're always marching toward it. And here's the deal. It doesn't matter whether the rapture happens tomorrow or whether there are some people who believe the rapture and the second coming are one and the same. We won't get into that debate. But what I will say is that we need to be ready, always ready. If you really believe the end of days is coming, you should probably be reaching out to people who don't know the Lord, witnessing to them and sharing with them. That should be our focus, not date setting, which we're specifically told not to do.
Yeah, I think there's
just big, and I think there's even a scripture that no one knows the
No
time
one
of
knows
day,
the day.
right? Not
Yeah.
even the sun, right? Not even the angels in heaven, right? So that's just, you know, don't go by those things. And the rapture is for the ones that don't need to be here.
Here we have the chat with the keys. If you want to learn more about what we read earlier about the symbolism of consciousness and the different levels and um, how to really look at these pictures and what they represent instead of just judging them as some kind of a terror card or some kind of
Right. No,
symbolic
that's the
Masonic.
ancient knowledge that's
Right.
being brought
I mean,
back.
how do you tell people of things at a higher level in their language if they don't have the words yet for those to explain?
Right.
So we have to raise our consciousness, right? So that we could get that knowledge from above
Plus
with the gold.
the symbols also hit the subconscious, right? So it triggers memory as well. So
yeah.
Also, you know, there's a verse that says the meek will inherit the earth. Well, if you were to be raptured out of here, then how could you inherit the earth, right?
Right. There you go. That's a good point. So you're going to inherit the earth, but you're going to get raptured out of here.
Yes, heaven is on earth. Heaven's within you. Yes. What is that? What does he say? The kingdom of heaven will not come with that with observation, right? Because the kingdom of heaven is within you. There's a scripture on that. So.
Right. So they're using this psyop right now in Dallas to ask President Trump to declare a national emergency due to rampant, out of control left-wing violence. I don't think they really remember what took place on J6, right?
No, they know people are waking up and people are mad, but I guess they are expecting some kind of violence. But that's what we're preventing by sharing the knowledge. everyone's sharing knowledge all over the place to try to prevent any of that.
Violence is violence. It doesn't when you kill somebody, they don't ask you who you voted for during the interrogation process.
But they
But somebody makes it political to push an agenda that you're just not seeing yet because you're accepting things that you normally wouldn't accept based on a psyop or misinformation and
but if
lies.
we got violent, then we're considered belligerent,
Belligerent.
and we cannot handle ourselves or our emotions, and then that's when they come as take over. So we don't want that.
But the propaganda machine wants that. Right. So here we are again. We're going to ban Muslims call to prayer in America because nobody has a First Amendment right called freedom of religion now or something. Would you want them to ban your call to prayer if you decided to do go to a football stadium 80,000 deep? Did you hear them wanting to ban any of you when you were praying in the revival for 2 hours, listening to the music, right? Nobody was calling to ban your prayer. So let's stop the CIA mind control MK Ultra psyop that Muslims praying is something that we need to be concerned with right now.
No,
I think we all need to be praying.
that's right.
This is America. You have First Amendment rights called freedom of religion. And if you're a veteran and you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then you have to stand even for their right to worship, just like they'll stand for your right to worship.
That's right.
Oh, you want me to play that next?
Yeah, the one we played this morning explains the rapture.
Okay, let me
it's
go to
with
it.
them.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll get to this other stuff here in a minute so we can understand what's been taking place here and how they're trying to divide us. So the key is to not let that.
Hey, just to go back to the rapture thing, I watched a video that Rod Hayes put out yesterday, and the meek shall inherit the earth. But there's this lady on there that was going out to buy blue stickers to be able to put on all of the wealthy people's stuff so that she can have first dibs. So that's kind of not the whole idea behind it. I don't think.
Yeah, and what's sad was these people were given their dog like this. They said this one lady gave her dog to a gay man and told him she wanted him to take care of it because she knew he was going to be staying here.
All right. Oh, we got a new coin. I don't know if y'all seen this. The new Charlie Kirk coins coming out.
They're just
400,000 silver dollar coins bearing Charlie Kirk's likeness. Talk about that's some crazy shit right there. I think this is what it's going to look like on the right. Apparently he's got a head of hair now. It's curly in the back.
No, they're
Or is
just
that an example?
going too far. That's just crazy.
Totally normal.
Told you that for 2,000 years we've been lied to about the book of Revelation.
And that when read literally, it does nothing but breed fear. But when read allegorically, we understand it as nothing else than the chakras. Yes, literally the 7 churches of Revelation corresponding perfectly down to the word with the chakras. Don't believe me? Stick around. I'm going to lay it all out in this video. Starting with the root chakra, Pergamum, where Satan's seat is. Because you see, Satan is Saturn, who controls the 3D principles of the root chakra. This is why when Jesus beat Saturn in the desert, he actually resisted his 3D principles and needs and focused on the spiritual meaning. Next, we have the sacral chakra, or Thyatira. And Jesus' beef with this church was that they tolerated Jezebel and were seduced by her. Next, we have the solar plexus, or Laodicea, literally dealing with zeal. Next, we have the heart chakra, or Ephesus, who left their first love. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. It literally correlates exactly. It tells Ephesus to repent so that their lampstand is not removed, aka the light of the heart. Next,
the throat chakra, or the voice of Philadelphia. He was very happy with this church because they kept his word. See, word, voice. And now we get to the third eye, or the church at Sardis. And his issue with this church was that their works were not seen perfect in the sight of God. Seen. He also tells them to be watchful. And finally, the crown chakra at Smyrna. He says if they remain faithful to the end, they will receive the crown of life. Leads us to Jesus as the rider on the white horse, white representing all of the colors of the chakra spectrum. This ties into the practice of Merkabah and rainbow light body. So the white horse is not literal at all. It has to do with the completeness of all chakras activated in the light vehicle of the metaphysical body. I'm telling you, once you unlock this stuff, you cannot go back. If you want to check out the full lexicon of the chakras and the churches they correspond to, check out my brand new book, Mysteries of Ancient Wisdom. Scan the QR code and follow for more wisdom.
More,
Booyah, the rapture's right now, baby.
more knowledge, right?
All right. So we're going to point out some of the narratives from the right-wing propagandists, make politicizing every event without any facts. They just go with the first thing presented via the mainstream media, which we were told is fake news. They're still running the Smith-Monk Act, Modernization Act of 2013. So keep that in mind moving forward, that they can legally propagandize us. So I just want to point out the propaganda coming from the right wing, right? Because I pointed out on the left as
From
well.
everywhere.
Well, actually, it's both sides. It's really, and they're clashing, and it's really crazy how they switch roles. It's like the Republicans are now acting like Democrats, and the Democrats are now screaming like they're Republicans. That's unconstitutional. Well, I ain't heard
And
Democrats say
now
that in
the
forever.
Democrats are, yeah, they're calling out all the constitutional, unconstitutional things.
Right.
Yeah, it's
It's a back and
great
forth.
though, really.
Hillary Clinton's blaming the right wing, and Trump's blaming the left wing. It's perfect.
Where everyone's gonna get so sick of it that it's actually gonna bring everyone together. So that it's really a perfect plan, really.
So Matt Walsh is drinking the Kool-Aid, guys, and clearly can't see it. Apparently, a lot of them kept their blinders on purpose with the CK event. That now they're going into the next one with the same fingerprint, calling out the left again, right? And weren't they wrong last time? What do you think they would learn? Why do they keep doing that, holding that position? So if you're still fighting over left versus right, you really don't understand what's happening, right? So don't fall for the.
Yeah, most people are seeing that now. Most people are.
So nobody's being arrested. They're covering up Epstein files. More war. More dinners with Bill Gates. What the hell? Do y'all want us to vote Republican? That's why I said be careful what you ask for now, because the Democrats, if they continue in this show,
Yeah, they're
could
trying to
possibly
get you
take the
away
reins
from
and get you
both
to.
parties.
You
So you
agreed
want
to it when
change.
Trump was president, right? And
People have
claim
to
it.
want change, and
Right.
this is going to push them to that.
Right. So we have John Hagee, the pastor, the end times pastor in Israel, with Mark Levin.
Yeah, and he was we watched a segment of his when he was promoting his book about the rapture and the end times,
rapture.
and he said he was telling his whole audience that they were going to be beheaded, and I mean just horrible.
Holy shit! Can you imagine if I told the audience tonight, y'all just buckle up, we're going to be beheaded here pretty soon?
Yeah, they do. I mean,
All,
yeah.
but
That's
here we
what he was
are.
doing,
So
saying
CBN connection.
that
Where-
some of them would be beheaded and some of them would be raptured up.
Well, don't look like you got raptured.
For it as a test of faith.
Here's Matt Walsh again. There have been at least 4 left-wing terror attacks in the past 2 weeks. 4 in 2 weeks. It's only getting worse. They're getting more brazen. We have to treat left-wing militants like ISIS and crack down mercilessly, or lots of people will die. Doesn't that sound like propaganda?
Definitely.
Okay, just pointing it out. I'll get to it. Here's the banana in the tailpipe again. So we are now writing our names on the rounds. Right. Same
the last
fingerprint
one.
as the last. And blame it on the left wing. Hurry. So I'm guessing Islam had something to do with Charlie Kirk's thing and JFK's and MLK's and Robert Kennedy and Reagan.
No,
It was
they're
the Muslims.
reflecting.
Oh,
Right. Put it on something.
it's all Israeli propaganda. This is if you're getting that Muslim Shahir law shit, you're gonna need to check the source, and it's coming from this clown. Here you go. This is what gets us into wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Right? Shit like this.
It's all starting to sound like blah, blah, blah. Charlie Brown's teacher.
So there are Arabic Christians, folks, and they say Allah because that's their language and it means God. That's it. Just like you say one nation under God, in their language they would be one nation under Allah. It's the same thing, but it would of course they wouldn't use the English version of what I said, one nation. It would be something else. So let's stop
Just
falling
a
for
lack of knowledge. That's all.
So here's Randy. This guy cheered when an American in Israel got killed by an IDF soldier, and he said, "Well, you shouldn't be throwing rocks at him." American got shot over there by an Israeli soldier, and this Republican guy, Representative Randy Fine, he's these animals live in Florida. Hopefully not for long. Wow. Yeah. Here he is with his Trump hat on at the Wailing Wall. So here we go. Tim Pool again. Here's another one. Law enforcement found rounds next to the shooter. They were anti-ICE in nature. Wow, more left-wing terrorism. See the narrative being pushed.
They're pushing the
He met with
leftist
he had a meeting with Netanyahu, but he doesn't want everybody to know that. Right. Same thing with Juanita Water. Holy crap! What's wrong with these people? So this is the reaction, everybody. Here we go. James Woods. Democrats have more blood on their hands today. Our feckless governor. So they're just going along with the psyop. These accounts. No critical thinking. No, nothing like that. Right. Just let's jump to conclusions with no investigation, just like we did on 9/11. Let's do that. Okay. Let's keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and expecting a different result. Quit falling for the psyops, even if it's your favorite actor playing a part of a patriot when they're dividing the country left versus right. That's the issue, and that's how you
if
conquer.
they're pushing division.
Division is
and fear,
you're not a white hat, brother, or light hat.
That's not right.
Here we go. Seth, radical leftists violently reject both free speech and law enforcement. They're at war with civilization itself. You know what happens when this pendulum goes to radical right wingers? And then you all of a sudden fit the profile of that based on how
Well, they did that January 6th, so they should know how that feels.
I know, so we got to stop
Right.
the madness. Realize you're being played. The Democrats have declared war on ICE. They hate America. They hate law enforcement. So now half the country hates law enforcement, and half the country hates ICE. Over half, right? That's what we're saying. So now the Republicans and the Democrats are fixing to go to war over a psyops.
No, we're not going to. Online, maybe they've been but we're not going. We don't want that happening.
Jack Posobiec, I wake up, there's another leftist attack. I wake up, there's another leftist attack. I wake up. You get it? All right. More propaganda to divide the country.
Yep.
Coming from this right-wing propagandist. Take note of any professional conservative who isn't talking about the nationwide leftist killing spree we are living through. No, it's a psychological operation is what you're living through. And you're falling for the banana tailpipe, the carrot. So here's what we just covered, the 277,000 devices. Only listen to the MAGA echo chamber. So these people, just because they claim to be MAGA, doesn't make them that. What were they before Trump came around, right? What were they doing? What was their stances? Because a lot of politicians put on a red hat and hide under that banner under Trump's wing, and I'm telling you, they don't have your best interest at heart. It's like wolves in sheep's clothing. So I'm going to go to the next thing. We got the coin coming out. Legislation is being filed in the U.S. House to replace Charlie Kirk on 400,000 silver dollar coins in 2026. These coins would have "well done, good and faithful servant" on one side and Charlie's face on the other side. They would be considered legal tender and has his full name, Charles James Kirk Fox. It is being filed by Reps Abraham.
What's funny, isn't there a scripture
Hamada.
that there should be no graven image on the coinage, right?
Yeah.
There's not supposed to be an image of a man.
Right. So it's being filed by Reps Abraham Hamada and August Pfluger. Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett, which was George Soros' right-hand man for 25 years, and President Trump would choose the coin's final design.
Why they gave him hair on? He ain't got no hair in life.
Right here,
right?
Man, he's looking pretty hot right there. Look like he's been working out for strong neck, curly hair.
This looks like Washington.
Who the hell is? Wait, that's not him. That's just an
No.
example. I keep falling for it.
Well, remember they put Trump on the shekel in Israel.
Oh
Yep.
shit!
Yep.
Oh
That's against their
That's idol worship in
the
Israel.
Jewish law.
Damn, they broke their own law.
That's the business in the front, party in the back.
Yep. That's crazy.
All right, so we got the Charlie Kirk coin coming out. Keep in mind there was no crime scene, so therefore there was no investigation. So why are we going to these levels of insanity? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Just gonna call it. Again, today's Democrat Party is the party of violence. I thought they were snowflakes last year. Now they were snowflakes last year. Now they're ready to kill everybody this year. What? What is it? Make up your mind. All right.
I'll just need 1 minute.
Here's the thing, guys. 1998 should take it out. All of your Nicolas Cage movies have the 88 Eclipse,
Yeah, there's a
9/11
lot of
codes in it.
problems in them.
All Nicolas Cage movies. We don't have a gun problem. We have a Democrat problem. Are y'all seeing what we're? I know it's redundant, but this is like the echo chamber. This is like what they're all saying.
That's on the
They're
X.
literally.
That's why
I
you
know.
won't go on it.
I know. Well, but I have to do this to point out what they do, the tactics that they do.
Right.
Like the echo. They're all saying the same damn thing. All of them. Benny Johnson, same thing. Spitfire, same thing. Charlie had a neck of steel and Trump had ears of Kevlar.
That's the go back.
Tylenol, nice try. Release the Epstein files.
Yeah, that statue's crazy. But hey, that's going to wake up some more people, right? We got to get this moving. At least they'll be questioning.
Told you that if I told.
Peace family. So let's talk about Tylenol. I'm literally out here in the garden, but the timing is what it is. So why is Tylenol associated with autism? First, if you don't know me, my name is Dr. Christina Parks. I have a PhD in cellular and molecular biology from University of Michigan that was done in the Department of Immunology, and I have been studying the childhood schedule and injections for about 10 years hardcore now. So Tylenol is associated with autism because it depletes the body's major antioxidant, glutathione. Glutathione is what mops up inflammation in the body. And when the body is critically depleted of it, it either goes septic or, especially in young or premature infants, they can actually pass away. It can cause things like SIDS. So the maintenance of glutathione is extremely important. And even doing something like mom taking vitamin C as a supplement while she's nursing can be critical in helping mom and the baby to resupply glutathione. So what happens is if your body doesn't have enough glutathione, it gets extremely inflamed and it just can't handle cellular stress. And the inflamed state of the brain is what is highly associated with neurological disorders such as autism or ADHD. Now, that said, glutathione is extremely depleted when children get injections, when your immune system is hyperactivated. So we know this even in pregnant mothers. If their immune system is hyperactivated, it could be by an injection, or it could just be by a very severe infection, like something like appendicitis, is going to cause a lot of inflammation and deplete glutathione. So it isn't just Tylenol that is going to deplete glutathione. It is any form of acute immune activation, which is going to include all of these injections on the childhood schedule. So make no mistake, this immune activation is going to deplete glutathione. And if you combine an immune activation, like a well child visit, with Tylenol, it is a double whammy, completely depleting that child's glutathione supplies and really making it very likely that the body is not going to be able to fend off brain inflammation. And so we know that many injections are associated with encephalitis. So most of the time the body can, that just means an inflammation of the brain. We know most of the time the body can get ahead of that and use intracellular things like glutathione to reduce inflammation. But if the body doesn't have those stores, that brain inflammation is going to rage on, and it is going to continually deplete the body's system of things like vitamin D, vitamin A, and zinc, and glutathione, and eventually the child's body just can't handle it anymore. And some children may actually pass away. Others are going to develop all kinds of problems, including things like autism. So I hope this helps you understand why Tylenol and other things, immune activation, are associated with brain inflammation, which is one of the root causes or the causal factors in developing symptoms of the spectrum. Peace. And if you want to learn more about everything on the childhood schedule and including the COVID injections, go to my page, vi-ta.org, vi-ta.org, and you can, just scan the QR code, and you're going to have reputable, scientifically referenced information that you and your family can depend on. Peace.
Peace, losers. Everybody wants to scan it.
That's what Trump was talking about, the liquids, right? When the child gets the liquids to space it out, and then he brought up Tylenol, so it's not really Tylenol, it's the combination of the two.
There we go. And we are going to end the show with that tonight. We thank everybody for tuning in tonight, spending time with us. We know you could be doing other things, and we're extremely grateful for this journey, not just with us, but with each and every one of you. So we really appreciate it.
And thank you, Nadine and Mickey.
Thank you, Nadine and Mickey, for coming on, getting them used to being on here. start exercising that voice chakra more. Just we'll work our way into it. But we're glad that Mickey had the courage to come on with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And we want to send our love to Glendia. She's not feeling too well,
Prayers.
so that's all I got. You got anything else, Mr. Doug?
That's it.
Mickey, you got anything to say before we close out?
Good night, everybody. Much love and peace.
Nadine?
Just everybody have a good night. And I hope Delphine feels better too.
We'll see y'all in the morning. Telegram.
10 o'clock a.m. is our coffee with the dogs.
QR code is at the top right of the screen. But that's all we got. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Love y'all.
We spoke our truth. We healed the sound. Lifted each other. Sacred and proud. Gifts exchange. Hearts aligned. Roll family. One of a kind. Red cardinal clan. Wings in the sky. Chief from straight A, spirit high. Mama's love, our guiding flame. Sheepdogs walks where we honor our name. Oh, rise, alive. We are the change, driving we strike. Heaven on earth, we build and we grow. Carry the road wherever you go. Take this life, take this song. You are the tribe, you belong. Speak your truth, let it bloom. You are forever a rule. Thank you to our guests, our tribe crew. To the viewers and listeners, this love is for you. Good night, everybody.